Welcome to the Saints Martini, a cocktails and conversation podcast with your hosts, the Saint and the Halo, Warren and Irish.
Yes, welcome back to another podcast of the Saints Martini. Second attempt, 3/4 of an hour later, but we're finally here. I am, of course, Warren the Saint. With me, as always, is, of course, Irish the Halo. And, of course, we have a special guest, Tim. So, say hi, everybody. How are we all going?
It's just Tim.
Oh, it's just Tim. I didn't know. I didn't know what I should say. I didn't know if I should say. You know, not everyone.
He reminds us all always of the character from Holy Grail, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, the sorcerer. Someone
sorcerer.
call me Tim.
It could be worse. It could be like the Blackadder. It's like, hello. What's the Black? You know, it's like, hello, Bob.
For those of you,
how are you,
right?
Bob?
For those of you who don't know,
yes,
I'm Irish, and Tim is lucky enough to be married to me.
And that is just Tim.
So, sorry about that introduction.
Nobody's asking you to apologize.
It's we've had some technical difficulties all at Warren's end. Thank you, fucking Tony Abbott and your fuck up of the NBN. It hit us once again. Australian internet.
Don't be upset. Settle down.
Seriously, you live in Australia and you're envious of Albania's internet service? Yeah.
I know, Warren, but as I just explained to you, your internet might be shit, but you just discovered 2 new species on the planet. So, it kind of evens out. I'm sorry.
True, we'll probably kill them next week, though. We'll probably put them on the endangered list next week.
But they will be adorable. They will be adorable, but they will also want to kill everybody.
That they will be deadly.
Yes. Oh, that's it. Well, that's the other thing. Yes, they'll be deadly. We've just discovered 2 new species. One is a one is a deadly spider, and one is a deadly snake.
See,
that
it
is
goes
so
along
Australian.
with my son's my son's thought that everything in Australia wants to kill you.
I'll put it this way: on land,
he
we have no
koalas
species.
Side eye.
I mean, on land, we do not have a single species that will eat you. You have several.
On land.
Okay, but the water technically isn't the country. Do you know what I mean? That's the ocean.
Yes, I do. I do understand that, but I also understand that the majority of the country makes you really want the water when you see it. So you have to maybe get close to the water. Did you not see Crocodile Dundee? Did you not see what happened? I'm sorry.
I think that's an authentic representation, right?
I'm sorry. He knows I like to tease him.
Oh, dear me. Crocodile. I don't know whether to be proud of that movie or shamed by that movie.
Hey, look, okay. You know what, though? It made a lot of people start wanting to be more interested in Australia, rather, like, whether or not it was... it was silly, but it made people interested in Australia. So probably a lot of people hadn't thought about Australia before that because, Americans, we've discussed this. We don't really think about countries.
But it was also back in the day. Like, when was it? It was the 1980s, wasn't it? I think when that film came out. It was back in the day when Australia had this idea that they wanted to push a false narrative of Australia, like. They wanted everyone to think that everybody lived in the outback and wrestled, crocodiles and drove around in a beat-up Land Rover. And, when the vast majority of Australians were sitting by the ocean sipping lattes. It was it was such a bad representation of what the country really was.
It was Mad Max. It was Mad Max before that.
But my God, that's the 70s. You're really going back. Oh,
I know.
Late 70s, yeah.
I know, so I'm saying.
But that's a cool film. That is a cool film, though. Mad Max is a cool film, though. I still stand by it.
I hadn't seen the original, actually, and I'm going to be honest with you. I hadn't seen the original Mad Max film until like a year or two ago, because I had seen everything after that. And that was literally what my idea of what Mad Max was. And then I saw the first one, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I realized, like, what it was, and I was like, this is crazy. This is what all that other stuff came from? I was like,
Mad Max was filmed about... probably about 10 kilometres, 15 kilometres away from where I work. The original one. Yeah, seriously. That's seriously. That just shows you how much that city has changed. Like, where they filmed a lot of that stuff was farmland then. It's all been taken over by, houses and stuff now. A lot of it. Yeah. Were you a Mad Max fan, Tim?
Oh, absolutely. More so the Road Warrior and the Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The latest stuff.
More familiar with initially,
the post-apocalyptic Third World War stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The weird kids with the tribal thing going on, and they thought he was the god coming back to save them. Walker, wasn't that it?
Captain Walker.
Captain Walker.
I mean, see, that was basically my first experience with it, too. That and Beyond Thunderdome with Tina Turner and Master Blaster. Yeah, and then when I saw the original, I was actually kind of confused because it was kind of, I don't want to say kind of, it was a really different vibe from the other movies.
Well, the thing is,
I didn't get it yet. And then I was like, okay, so I have to like go backwards and think about how these movies came to be from this thing. It was a little different.
They still had the marauding street gangs.
Yeah,
and
it was just a different
cars
vibe. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of a different feel.
Well,
for Americans, film, that's what we knew.
Well, see, the original film in the late 70s, it was part of that. We've talked about this before. Ausploitation, which is basically the Australian version of the American Filipino experiment, where you basically make films as cheaply as humanly possible. The vast majority of them were designed for the drive-in market, and health and safety.
Needs to make a comeback now.
Well, it has in Australia. Drive-ins are all the rage. Well, there's only a couple that are still operating, but the ones that are still operating, they've even started to do concerts at drive-ins. So you can go to the drive-in, and they'll do a Tina Turner concert, right at the drive-in.
Well, that's cool. I mean, honestly, we've had our political concerts, basically our political rallies and stuff now become kind of drive-in things for the Biden campaign.
They were trying to
keep people.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, they were trying to keep people from, getting too close with the social distancing because,
great idea.
Again, we're still having a terrible explosion. So they're kind of doing a drive-in thing, which was neat. While Trump continues to have his weird rallies across the country, even though he's lost the election.
Yes,
which we could talk about in a minute.
We will.
And I know we got totally off topic.
Cocktails. We've got. Okay. So, what is your?
I know.
Guys, what are you both drinking today? What is your cocktail of choice?
Tim?
Mine is a cocktail I refer to as Nearly Empty.
Which is the second Nearly Empty.
Amaretto Sour.
Yeah, because I decided, because one of our friends came over on Halloween, Amy, and my good friend Amy, and she brought me a bottle of Amaretto di Serrano. And so we made Amaretto Sours tonight. So it's Amaretto di Serrano, a little sweet and sour mix. It's got, normally they say use lemon lime soda like Sprite or something, but we used a little soda with a squeeze of real lime and maraschino cherries. Shake it up, put it in a glass with some ice, and it's delicious. It's an old-fashioned cocktail. It's really good, like a classic cocktail.
Oh, fantastic.
Very smooth.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
I am, I don't know. I'm just getting deja vu for a moment.
Deja vu all over again. I know what you're drinking, but it's because I'm psychic. We're not going to go there.
Can I guess?
You're telling me.
I was just going to say before what's that old line? It's like deja vu. That's interesting. I swear I've heard that word before somewhere.
Is that
anyway?
I bet there's a drink called that. We should look that up.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Okay, all right. So here we go. So
Tell us what are you drinking?
no do. I'm going to let Tim's psychic powers guess what I'm drinking.
Hey, it's my. Oh, Tim,
Oh,
has
it's your
psychic
psychic.
powers.
Oh no, sorry. Okay, you can both
It
use
was
it.
my
I
psychic.
believe.
Apparently
You can do a
Tim
mind
has
meld.
psychic powers now.
You can use a mind meld. You know,
Look, no,
my mind to your mind.
It's been 30 years,
Right.
but we've done that.
Being the gentleman you are,
Yes.
I am sure you are in your study, reclined.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Do you have a camera on me or something? I said yes.
With a nice scotch.
Oh, yes. I'm missing a redhead Scottish woman, but apart from that, chin chin.
Yeah,
yes.
well, because we were
Spot on.
Before, like earlier, when we were discussing the fact that he told you he was drinking scotch, that he was also thinking about Karen Gillum. I just want people to know.
Well,
I'm dropping a dime on him.
Well, I often do
Psychic.
this. I sit
That's
back.
my job. You're welcome.
Well, the thing is that, I found out in a little mini documentary done by Vogue, of all people, Vogue, Strike the Pose.
The Teen Vogue? Because it's badass these days.
No, it was just Vogue, I think, not Teen Vogue, but... anyway...
I know it's a joke, but they do good articles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I swear,
Political. I'm not joking.
Tim and I used to say that about Playboy as well. But anyway...
It's all about the
I never
article.
lied about that. I just admitted I was looking at it for the women,
sorry.
okay?
Yeah.
I just want to lie.
Sorry.
It's not
Anyway. No, I found out that we had something in common, and that is that we actually quite like to sit back in our studies that we have built for ourselves, which we surround ourselves with our toys, gadgets, and little, possessions, and sit back and enjoy a glass of Scotch whiskey. And I thought, wow, this is cool. I've got something in common with her. Yes! doing the happy dance. This is pretty cool. So anyway.
Yeah, I mentioned to you earlier I'm trying to talk some people into considering her for a role on something we're working on. So yeah, they're not listening yet, but I'm hoping they will, because I actually think she would be epic in this role. So we're working on that.
Oh, please.
She's very busy.
She is busy, but she's amazing.
But she's not just an actress. She's also a writer and a producer and a director. I mean, she's got her hands in everything, So, and
she actually said she didn't want to act in anything she was directing. Again, is what I had heard. Is that if she was going to direct, she didn't want to act in it anymore. She didn't feel like she wanted to split her passion that way. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Because
very interesting.
A lot of actors, when they move into directing, they feel like they can do both, and some people can, and a lot of they could probably be great at it. But I think it's interesting that she really wants to focus on one or the other at the time, which I have a lot of respect for, actually. So not that I disrespect those who choose differently, but I do think it's an interesting choice to focus on something specific.
Yes, it's yeah, she's an interesting lady, actually. I mean, the fact that her success was literally, it was quite literally overnight, wasn't it? I mean, it was so fast to go from a bit player on British TV and a very short-lived modelling career, which apparently she hated anyway, and was not really very good at. To suddenly she was a Hollywood movie star. I mean, literally within about 4 years. I mean, that's not normal?
Well, no, but if you think about it, I mean, it does happen. If you think about, and I know this is a kind of a weird stretch, but it just reminded me because they're both gingers. Rupert Grint, actually. The guy who played Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter movies. He had never done any acting at all. And he actually decided that he wanted to go out for the audition because he had read the books and he loved them. And he thought, I have red hair. I think I could be Ron Weasley. He just on a whim, he skipped school and went out on the audition and he got it. And honestly, the moment that he was booked in that and that movie came out, he was an instantaneous star.
Yeah.
And everything that he did after that, no matter what he ever does, he will never have to work another day in his life. He will always be Ron Weasley. He will always have that. And he will always make money on the residuals from that. And I just think that's kind of epic, actually. Somebody who can...
He had to eat a frog. But
step in. Yeah. He did what?
He had to eat a frog.
What did you say?
Wasn't it? The scene where he has to eat the fucking frog. Was the slug? Didn't he have to
I think it's a slug. He's actually vomiting up a slug. He didn't eat it.
Oh, okay.
He's vomiting it up.
I don't know.
Because, and I'm just gonna admit, for those who don't know, and I'm sure everybody does, that I'm a huge Harry Potter geek. It was because Draco Malfoy, he tried to put a curse on Draco Malfoy. He had a broken wand, and it reverberated back on him, and he did it to himself. So it was his own fault for being a piece of shit.
There you go.
And that's why I also have no Twitter accounts. So,
it's not, so they're not back. Well, I've seen they're not back. I know they're not back yet. But I'm just saying to everyone, they're not back yet, you know.
They're not going to be back, Warren. I'm just telling you right now. I've put in the appeal. It's been a month. There's been no response. Nothing's happening. Nobody gives a shit. So,
maybe they're still counting the votes.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, I just thought that was,
we won.
Sorry.
We won, period.
I know. I know you did. I know you did.
So give me my account back.
I know.
Because here's the thing. Tomi Lahren is a skank. Look it up. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't see how that's an insult.
Here's the thing.
It's not harassment. It's a fucking observation.
It's not,
okay?
Because if you go to Wikipedia and you type in Tomi Lahren, right, and her page comes up, the first thing it says, well-known stank. No, anyway, don't Wikipedia it. Look it up. It's there. It's there. It says well-known stank. You know?
I know. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but it was my third offense. The first time I called her white trash. I called her white trash, and I had to delete my racist harassment tweet. See, here's the thing people don't realize with Twitter, and this is what I've realized. If you tweet something, and they lock your account until you have to delete it, if you just delete it, it's like paying a fine on your license when you get a ticket here in America.
Right.
If you pay the fine, and you don't contest it, it means you're guilty. You admit you're guilty and I'm paying the fine. So they put points on your license, whether you realize it or not. So maybe you accidentally, unknowingly drive through a toll one day. So they send you a ticket and it doesn't get paid or whatever. So then you go and pay it. Okay. You put points on your license because when you pay that fine, you're admitting your guilt. So basically what happened is you get 3 strikes. Okay, on Twitter. So the first time I called Tomi Lahren white trash, which she is. As a white person, I know this. Okay, I'm just saying, again, an observation. I had to delete my tweet. So I did. I didn't contest it. Points on my license. The next time it happened, they suspended my account for 24 hours, even after I deleted my tweet, which was because I said, I hope that when Mitch McConnell dies, the God of his choice will give him a long, suffering, painful end. They suspended my account for 24 hours, even after I deleted my tweet, for wishing death upon him and violence upon somebody.
Right.
Thank you. I was like, I didn't say I wanted him dead. We're all going to die. I just said when he does die, I hope it's suffering. Okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with me saying that. It's my choice. Anyway, the last time I called Tomi, I told her to get out of my hometown, you skank. All right? That carpetbagging bitch is in my hometown of Nashville and was in there for 3 months and started talking about, here in Nashville, we blah, blah, blah. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Okay?
But she's not a Nashville native, though, is she?
Oh, no, she's a carpetbagger.
Yeah.
Okay, she moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she started talking about we, and it made me upset. Like, there you are talking about how we don't put up with this. And she was, of course, bashing people on the left. So I said, get out of my hometown, you skank. Third strike. They told me it was harassment for I don't know what the fuck they said it was. They just said I was harassing her. And I looked through the list and I'm thinking, okay, if it is really about me saying get out of my hometown, that's a request. Would it have mattered if I had said please? You guys concede that as a threat? It's not a threat. It's a request. The second, it's use skate. Again, an observation and an apt description. There's no lie there. Would it have mattered if I'd called her trash then and left the word white out? Could I have called her a moron? Could I have called her something else that didn't make them think I was attacking her womanhood? I don't give a shit who she sleeps with. She's an immoral piece of trash. That's what that word means. And I personally don't think both of my accounts should have been suspended for it.
All you do is
I've had my say. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
All you do is you take one of Donald Trump's hate tweets, and then you just cut and paste it into your Twitter and send it to somebody else. And then that way Twitter cannot say you've done the wrong thing.
You're merely quoting a tweet.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. You're quoting the President of the United States. So how was that wrong? Okay, so we have to address
duck piece of trash.
Well, we have to address the elephant in the room. Okay, which of course was the election last weekend. Weekend before, but of course it was called last weekend. We'll get there. And of course the Mandarin or the Manchurian Mandarin will no longer. Well, he will have to leave the White House in. Is it January or February? January.
January 20th.
January. He will have to leave. Now, I am assuming that you guys basically partied like it was 1999.
I think you know how drunk I got, Warren.
Yeah, there was much rejoicing.
Look, in Australia, the news was full of the people on the streets, and I'll tell you, I had to say, I believe this was from Washington, and I love this. That all the people that were dancing in the street, and then the lights would turn red, and they'd run into the middle of the road, and they'd start dancing, then the lights would turn green, and they'd all go back to the sidewalk, let the cars go past, then they'd turn red, they would go in the middle of the street again. I thought, that's beautiful. I love that. It was like they were partying, but they were respectful. It was so cool to see. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And
that's the America that we know. That's not the one that they've been portraying on Fox News, but that's the one that we know.
But it's like, in the words of Jeremy Clarkson, welcome back to the free West. You'll enjoy it here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, we're
glad to be back.
America is back.
America is back, baby. It's straight, but it's just that there was almost, it felt like there was a sigh of relief. I mean, but I'm talking about even in Germany, Britain, France, Australia, Canada, all over the world. Well, except for Russia, you know, there was a sign of relief that it's like, finally, it's over. You know, the fucking Manchurian mango is gone. It was
I think
wonderful.
We need to be careful, Warren. We have to be careful because honestly, this is the most dangerous time we have now. And I know people again are going to laugh at me and say, you know, that I'm an alarmist, but now is when he's going to be his most desperate, to be honest, because this guy is fucked. When he leaves office now, there are state charges that are going to be filed against him. And regardless of what he does to pardon himself, if he tries or whatever, he actually can only do that even if he gets away with it from federal crimes. No state crimes. He can't pardon himself or anybody else from any kind of state crime. The things that he's going to be charged with in regards to tax evasion and tax fraud, campaign finance charges, all kinds of stuff that happened in the state of New York where he's from, he's in deep. And not just him, but his kids too. They're going to get something too, unless, you know, I don't know what he can do for them because again, he can't pardon state charges.
I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares less whether his kids go to jail.
People go to jail for that stuff. Well, yeah, he cares if he goes to jail. He cares. He didn't give a shit if his kids go to jail. I can tell you now.
Well, apart from Ivanka.
But he cares about himself, and he doesn't want to go to jail. And he's also in debt for like $400 million personally.
Yeah.
So that these loans are coming due right after he gets out of office, and he's fucked. Well, and so right now we're worried because he's got power now. And also, when he does finally get pushed out of office, which we feel actually has all of his presidential records he can take with him. He can go to anybody in the world and give our secrets to them and sell them.
That's how he pays his debt off to the Russian oligarchs.
Yeah, the Russian oligarchs to MSB, to people in Turkey, to whatever the fuck else he owes, whoever else he owes shit to.
But here's the thing, guys. If he, like, for instance, let's just say he went to Russia, right, and said, I got stuff I can tell you. The honest truth is, he was such a lame duck president in sitting through briefings, taking in information and all the rest of it. He probably knows squat. Seriously, an average reporter in the New York Times probably knows more secrets than he does.
He hasn't even put the records together.
Well, okay, but the problem is...
He doesn't need to personally know secrets.
But does someone like, not Bill, but Pompeo and so forth... I mean, are they actually... Do you really think they would... I mean, I know they're heading on for dear life because their jobs and careers are heading onto it. But once he's gone, does someone like Pompeo... That's how you pronounce his name, isn't it? Pompeo, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does he have anything to gain after, let's say, January for hanging on to Trump anymore? Like, is there anything in it for him anymore? Now, right now there is, but... Post-January, is there? So the thing is, what can Trump really do, as in, I got some information for you?
Listen, Nixon's Secretary of State went to prison, okay? Yeah. Pompeo has broken laws. These people, I hope to God, will be prosecuted by the incoming administration. Because here's the thing. In the past, things like Nixon... They've said what we have to do to heal the country is to pardon these people so we can all move on. Well, see, here's the thing with us. Right now, the only way to heal the country is if you absolutely do not let any of these people get away with this shit. If you let them get away with it, if they don't learn anything, and it invites more of this crap. We can't have this.
What about a South African... sorry.
No, I was just going to say the only way to heal this shit is to prosecute these motherfuckers, every single one of them, including Pompeo.
Okay, no, but what I was going to say is, what about and I'm playing devil's advocate here, because you know I'm on your side. I mean, fuck me. My spirits rose when it was called. You know, it was like, it's over. Guys, it's over. Like it was...
Not mine.
Yeah, but
go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what I was going to say is that, do you think that maybe Biden will take an approach of the South African pardon, which is that when apartheid came to an end and Mandela became president, they had the hearings and people weren't... If you went to the hearings and you regurgitated your soul of the crimes that you had committed under apartheid, you were pardoned, but you were pardoned if you admitted your guilt. If you didn't admit your guilt, you went to jail. But if you admitted your guilt, you were pardoned. The idea to try to heal the nation, and everyone then got to hear these people admit the crimes that they did. And people were prepared to admit the crimes because they knew they weren't going to jail. And I'm just wondering, do you think that Biden might follow that path rather than, I'm going to lock you all up?
Well, see, here's the thing. He can't lock anybody up.
No, I don't mean him. I don't mean him personally.
The president doesn't do any of that stuff.
I know.
Okay,
yeah.
He's not. But see, here's the thing. Personally, and I can't speak for Tim, but personally, the way I feel is every single one of those people need to publicly admit their guilt, and then they need to be fucking held accountable in the public square for it.
Yeah.
We cannot risk our democracy for these fucking people's egos. And I'm sorry, I'm sick and tired of people in our country, politicians and evangelical ministers and all this shit, preaching a bunch of crap, then lying to us and committing basic treason in regards to a lot of these things going on with the politicians, or just being completely fucking immoral, and then saying, oh, I admit my guilt, I am forgiven. and then everybody forgives them and they move on with their life and they continue to fucking grift everybody after that. That shit can't keep happening here if we're going to be a better nation. We actually have to hold these people accountable. And so that's my personal opinion. I'd like to hear what Tim has to say, because honestly, we don't talk about it a whole lot. I just yell at the TV. So, I'm just going to be honest about that. I yell at the television, and
she does do that. I mean, it's fair to say that the most Americans would like to see some sort of punishment fit the crime, some sort of accountability. But that's not the typical American approach.
That's the wrong thing. I'm sorry, I'm eating cherries. That's wrong, in my opinion.
After Nixon left office, they didn't really go after him. After the Bush administration left office, they didn't go after some of the main players there.
There's people are dead.
Well, it's a time for healing, and it's not healing if you're spending your time litigating the past.
But it's also interesting in what you... No, just saying, it's interesting what you say, because during the Nuremberg war crime trials, okay? Now, I know we're not talking about crimes of the same level, or I'm not trying to say they're the same, all right? But what's very
Nobody's
interesting...
thinking you are, but you can't pretend this doesn't mirror some aspects.
I'm not denying that, yeah. But what is interesting is that the Soviet Union, Britain and France wanted to go these people literally down to the clerk, or you say clerk, in the post office. Do you know what I mean? They wanted to just rip the heart out of Nazism and literally put half the country in jail. The United States... That's
not what we're asking.
No, I understand that. But I'm just trying to explain something, right?
I'm sorry.
No. I interrupt you all the time. So
I just can't be quiet.
No. So, but it was the United States at Nuremberg that said, hang on. We can't do this. The nation has got to survive. If you start ripping the guts out of the country, there is no country left. And although these people are responsible, there is a point where you have to say, stop. You've got to draw a line somewhere where, like, the French and the Soviets just said, no, there is no line. We'll just keep going and go after these people. And it's a bit like after the end of the Civil War in the United States. The United States said about the Confederacy, all is forgiven. We're going to forgive your crimes and try to move forward.
Yeah, but...
It's a very American idea, I think.
Yeah, but Warren, that led to the shit we're dealing with now. Forgiving those people in the way they did and moving on in the way they did here after the Confederacy basically gave them license to continue using their tactics, but like shifting how they did it. That's how we ended up with Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. That's how we ended up with the Tulsa, massacre.
Yeah,
that's how we ended up with the bombings in Birmingham. I mean, honestly, to continue to not hold people accountable is what leads to more atrocities. And I'm not saying hold everybody that ever did anything to anybody ever accountable in the public square, but I'm saying, did you give orders to commit crimes against humanity? You did? Okay, then you should be held accountable in the public square. And if they didn't give orders to somebody else to commit crimes against humanity, then maybe we can forgive them and move on. But if they gave orders to others to do that, then they knowingly committed those crimes. And I feel like in order for us to heal and in order for us to look, the things they did to the children on our borders, they took babies. Yeah. Nursing babies away from their mothers. And they did it, as a deterrent. Okay, so here's my thing. We hold these fuckers accountable as a fucking deterrent. They thought that was acceptable to do to children and families and mothers. Well, we think it's acceptable to do to them then. So we're not going to take their children, but as a deterrent, we will hold them accountable. And if we can't do that, then nation we claim to be. And that's my take on that whole thing.
Okay.
And a lot of people might disagree with me.
No, it's. Look, I think it's going to be a topic of a lot of freaking discussion over the next 12 months. You know.
Well, I see Tim's face. I see he disagrees with me.
Well, it's no, but
I'm not saying that.
But hang on, but here's the thing, guys. Right?
Yeah.
What happened? What happened a week ago? Ushered in a new era in the United States where you don't have to agree. It's okay to disagree again. Like, for 4 years, the president has said, you must agree with this or you are a traitor. Now, you're allowed to say, we have our own opinions. Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, well, Warren, the election is not a magic wand. We are an excessively divided nation right now.
Okay, yeah.
And that's not going to happen right now. We're going to need to heal. And in my opinion, in order to do that, I've stated what I think needs to happen.
Okay.
I'll tell you, like, I'm because I see Tim's face. I do want to hear what he has to say.
We've spent the last 20 years magnifying our differences with each other rather than gravitating towards any commonality that we had. Mm-hmm. We're very polarized. It's not going to change.
Not anytime soon.
Tomorrow, not due to the election. I don't know if we need some sort of a large come to Jesus moment. I hate to say that.
Can I come to Jesus moment here? Well, that's an interesting point in that. Explain to me how all the evangelicals voted for an atheist and all the atheists voted for a Catholic.
Yeah, they don't know he's an atheist. They don't believe that.
I know. I find that amazing. The evangelicals said we won't vote for a religious man.
Gravitate towards a party that most represents them and most embraces people that look like them.
Mm-hmm. And what they think will do.
So this is Jesus. So is this a little bit like a Middle Eastern Jesus was actually white-skinned with blonde hair?
White skin, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Even though he was born in fucking Bethlehem, but he had white skin and blonde hair, and blue eyes.
And blue eyes.
Blue eyes.
Pictures.
It is amazing. I've seen a couple of times where artists have actually drawn concepts of what they think Jesus probably because no one would have any. First of all, I don't even believe he's a real person. We won't go down that path because I know, but let's, that's what I believe. I think he's a composite of 20, 30, 40, 50 people at the time. Yeah. But let's just say he really, exactly. No,
Arthur.
Well, Arthur.
I know how you feel about it.
Well, Arthur's he was written about like literally 1,000 years after the events. Mind you, Jesus was written about 200 years after the events. So, no, that's not quite true. 50 years after. People
never met him. Which would stand to reason 200 years after he was born.
Actually, it is. Yeah, I know. Anyway, look, we're not going to go down this path. Everyone knows what I think.
I need another drink.
Okay, all right.
I need another drink.
I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying now, to be honest. Where was I?
I kept interrupting you.
I think you were talking about how the blasphemers depicted Jesus in some artistic renderings.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Was that? It's interesting. The pictures. You are looking at an Arab, basically. Like what Americans would say is an Arab. You know what I mean? Dark skin, dark hair, brown eyes. It's
a Jewish person.
Well, no, because Jews
are born
a Middle Eastern person.
Well, because he was supposedly.
Well, there are. You've got to remember, there's a huge percentage of the Israeli population which are Jewish, which actually do have blonde hair, white skin, and blue eyes, because they came from fucking.
Well, here, I don't know about.
Because they came from Italy or what? But no, if their origins were from the Middle, because that's the problem with Israel, the population is so multicultural. I mean, this is the other thing too. Only 2/3 of the friggin'. No, I didn't mean it. No,
they're so multicultural.
Sorry. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, guys. I didn't mean it like that. What I meant was, I didn't mean the problem is, what I meant was, the problem with the way people view Israel is what I meant, not the problem with Israel. Sorry, fuck me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I know.
Israel is probably the most multicultural nation on earth. I mean, it'd be hard pushed to find a more multicultural nation than Israel. Only about 2/3 of the population are practicing Jews anyway, or even relate to Jews. Something like 1/3 of the population are Christian or Muslim. Right, and they vote in the elections, right? Remember this. Even the Israeli army has entire battalions made up of fucking Muslims. It's like Israel is a nation that people who are not Israeli do not fucking understand. They think they understand it. Like people like fucking Sean Hannity carry on about Israel. They don't fucking understand that country. That country is an amazing. Well, anyway, let's not. I don't even know why I brought that up. Sorry. Do you need to take a break to refill your cocktail, Irish?
I need another drink, but I want to just say I think the Israeli people are amazing, honestly, in a lot of ways. It's the Israeli government I have a lot of issues with.
Well, remember too, Israel has its left wing and its right wing, and it's not at the moment the right wing, which is very pro-Trump, I have to admit, but that all had to do with Jerusalem. Right? It's not. They would have sided.
Basically, listen.
Sorry.
Look, I'm just going to say, I'm not trying to say good or bad Israel government. I'm saying I think maybe I misspoke in a sense that I want to say I'm anti-Zionist. Okay,
you don't want
that's
them
my
pushing,
issue with that.
You don't want them taking land off other people. Like just Israel.
Thank you.
Okay,
I have a real issue. With that.
And it's look. I'm one of these things. My daughter and I always joke about the fact that we're Israel free passes. We just give free passes to Israel, even when they do really bad shit. And it's wrong, but
that's my issue.
But unfortunately, every time in the back of my head, it's just going Holocaust, 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 and it's just like
look, I get that, but Warren, look, I get that absolutely, and I empathize. But see, my only issue is that I feel like sometimes. Right now, the oppressed have become the oppressors, and I have a real issue with that. That's my real issue.
Yeah.
I feel like
I agree with you.
They did go through that, and I feel like they should maybe have a little more empathy for what they're doing to mirror some of that to others, and not in the same level. Please don't think I'm trying to.
Oh no!
I think that there's a lot of things they're doing that are wrong, and I think they should look at how they're being oppressive to others in similar ways that others have been oppressive to them in the past.
Well, this is always the joke, isn't it? Israel complains about terrorism, but Israel was founded by terrorists. I mean, look at your history. I mean, Israel.
I don't want to label that.
I just want to say, Google, you know, the, anyway, I'm not going to,
don't Google anything.
No. Anyway, all I was going to say is that these right
now.
Google King James Hotel. King James Hotel.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm going to interrupt now because I need to tell people not about that. I have to interrupt. I have to interject. I'm dropping the dime on Tim because I want people to know if he says something that sounds smart, he's looking stuff up on the computer while he talks. And that is something I never do because usually I'm too buzzed to try to type things or read it when it comes up, or I might. But he's doing that. So if he sounds smart and I don't, that's why. I just want to put that out there.
Oh my God, you're so much like my...
He's giving me this smirk and the blinking eyes.
Those anyway, are self-conscious.
Oh, God. Anyway, I was
seem to lash out at others.
What is that?
I just put that out there.
Oh, dear. Anyway, oh my God.
I should get another drink.
Are we pausing? Are we pausing? Or are we pausing? Okay.
Yes.
All right. No worries.
Pausing.
All right. We are pausing.
Calls.
We are pausing, and we'll probably change the subject when we come back because I don't want to start an international incident. So, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to start. I'm going to start another 6-day war or something like that.
That'd be nice. Did my best. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear. All right, no, they've
already suspended my Twitter account.
But what's this new service you can go on? This extreme right-wing Nazi, service you can go on? No, Fox. Ka-ching, I love that. Well done.
Okay, I'm getting a drink. Let's go.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be right back.
I obviously need one.
Here we go. We'll be right back. And we are back. Time travel is wonderful, which was 1 second for you, was 5 minutes for us. We approached the black hole and experienced the time dilation. Anyway, I don't know why I said that. That's the Scotch. Anyway,
so along the big horizon.
No, but I was going to say, going back to the election, actually, just quickly, it's very, very interesting that the Western world has embraced the win of Biden. The Western world are not idiots. They know what's going on. They're not going to listen to or follow Donald Trump's nonsense. Everybody in Western Europe, all leaders have contacted Joe Biden to say congratulations. The Western, when I say Western, I mean non-communist, you know what I mean? Like the Japan, South Korea,
correct.
In Asia, when I say Western. So please, I'm not trying to be racial or anything like that. Okay. These days, it's so fucking difficult. You don't know if what you're saying is right or wrong.
You have to be so careful.
I know. So anyway,
I
Japan,
have to be quiet,
so Japan and South Korea have phoned Joe Biden to say congratulations. The British Prime Minister, who is pretty conservative, okay, in Parliament condemned Donald Trump. Basically in Parliament, which is officially now on the legal record for eternity, basically said, fucking just accept it, man. Move on. You're lost. He said it in Parliament.
Yep.
In Parliament, okay? That's the British Prime Minister. Now, I'm kind of a bit proud of this, okay? The Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, who I'm actually not a fan of, actually. I don't really like him. But, anyway, he is our Prime Minister, and remember, he's an Australian Conservative, which is somewhat different to an American Conservative, okay?
Yeah.
He's a Conservative that believes in free healthcare, a woman's right to choose, free education, these weird fucking things, right? So anyway,
a liberal.
Yeah, which in Australia is and that's interesting because he leads the Liberal Party, but he's a Conservative. So anyway, he had a phone call last week with Joe Biden to congratulate Joe Biden on win. So Australia has officially accepted the president-elect. Russia has still not. Anyway, that's another story. Watch the Russia Today news service at the moment. Fuck me.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's weird. They are literally stalling. Anyway, that's another story. Australian Prime Minister calls him. They have a great conversation. They talked about, here's the amazing thing, rebuilding the alliance after the shit of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, and then...
Well, it's going to have to be done.
And do you know then what Australia does? Because Australia right now is basically COVID zero, or COVID neutral, whatever you want to call it. We are lucky now if we get 2-3 cases a day for the entire nation, not city. And we're not talking 200, 2,000, 2 people per day, right? That's where we're at right now.
Amazing.
The city I live in, Melbourne, has now hit what they called Donut Day, which was 0 cases, 15 days straight, 0 cases.
That's amazing.
And that's a city of 5 million people, 0 cases. The country now is talking about reopening the borders with other COVID zero countries, Singapore, New Zealand, to, you guys, I'm sorry, are still blocked.
I know.
So, but anyway, this phone call, Joe Biden, Scott Morrison, have agreed Australia is going to hand over all of its medical and scientific research on COVID and how Australia got to COVID zero. Without question, it's been handed over to Joe Biden. Just sent.
Yay!
Right?
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Now, this is the thing. He's not the government yet. And the Australian government said, no, fuck you, we'll give it to you. The other guy doesn't want it. All right, we'll give it to you. This is how we killed COVID in Australia. If that's not acceptance of who Joe Biden is, I don't know what is. So the world has accepted
made the hard decisions.
Sorry,
Sorry, Tim. In Australia, you made the hard decisions.
Oh, fuck me! 4 months.
You guys have quarantined.
4 months in quarantine. Do you know how fucking hard that is? Jesus, it is. And here's the thing. But here's the thing. Don't feel sorry for me. Europe is going into it now for the second time round. They're going into round 2 now. Anyway, sorry. It's getting depressing. I don't want to get depressing. I want to keep it, sort of up. But I just wanted to say. But I just wanted to say, Australia has openly supported Joe Biden as president, without question. So, it was. I was kind of proud of that my Prime Minister called Joe Biden to say congratulations, even though they have to call his private phone because the White House is refusing to allow foreign governments to speak to the president-elect. How fucking sad is that?
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous, actually. And we actually have finally some Republican senators that are coming out and saying that it's ridiculous and that Biden needs to be given the transitional, the
President's Daily Briefing.
Thank you. The briefings and stuff on the classified information, the intelligence briefings and things like that.
He needs to know about. He needs to know about the aliens. He needs to know about the aliens at Area 51. He needs to know.
He already knows that because he was vice president under Obama.
Sorry, I forgot that. I forgot that.
All right, let's not be silly. He already knows those things.
Sorry. I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, Trump is being really pathetic. I mean, and we all know that he's been pathetic this entire time, but this is the most pathetic that I think he has ever been. Today, when he came out and tried to take credit for the Pfizer vaccine that was coming out and tried to claim that they lied and they weren't really, it wasn't really what they said, that they weren't involved in Operation, Warp Speed or whatever. Speed. They totally were, even though they said they weren't, and that was a misspeaking. It's like, come on, guys. Give me a fucking break.
Well, did you hear that at that press conference, he said that the New York governor, for whatever reason, because he hates him, because I think he's a Como, isn't he? So he's going to hate him. And he said, they won't give their people this new vaccine. I saw him 30 minutes on television, 30 minutes after that speech, and he was on television saying, I don't know what the president is on about. Of course we're going to give it to everybody. All I have said is I want to know the FDA has fully approved it before it starts being sent. We've never said it won't be given to people. I don't know what the president's on about. I mean, this is the thing. He's lost, and he's still fighting for re-election, even though he's lost. It's like it's sad. I saw Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow. Sorry, I've been talking too much. I'll say this and I'll shut up. All right. I heard Rachel Maddow on MSNBC make the comment: the way Trump is behaving right now is. The only way it can be described is it's sad. It's fucking sad. This is like a divorced father shouting at the walls when the wife, the children, the courts, the friends, the family are saying, you're an asshole, stay away. And he is screaming that he's being hard done by. And he's forgetting that he used to beat the wife and the kids up. And I thought she's spot on with what's going, with that statement. Anyway, I will shut up now and I will hand the floor over. Sorry, I've been talking too much. Sorry.
Well, no, I think he's much more of the child with his arms crossed and the sagging lower lip, stomping his feet and pouting. And I know he hates Cuomo, It's his ego that does that, because Cuomo got so much recognition during the early days of COVID.
Had those daily briefings he was giving that Trump wasn't. So, yeah, that absolutely had a difference. But yeah, I think the thing is that he can't wrap his head around the concept that people don't want him here. I think he, like, deep down already knew how hated he was because he hates himself. But this was this thing where he has to now accept that he has to leave and nobody likes him anymore. But he still has the rallies and things, and he's talking about running and going ahead and announcing for 2024. So here's why he's doing that. If he announces his campaign, he can continue to collect money from people, and he can continue to grift off of them. Right now, they're collecting money for his legal campaign defense fund and stuff like that. But they said any donation under $8,000 literally just basically goes right to Trump's personal account in a sense. I know. He's just going to take it for himself. So basically, any of the people that give money to that, if you don't give at least $8,000 to the super PAC, that money's just going right into his bank account to pay him for being a person and not doing anything for you, for losing the election. And he's going to continue to do that even after he leaves office. If he doesn't leave the country, which he might do, I think that's my kind of vibe on that. But even if he does, he could probably still do this. He'll say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to run again. Even if he will never do it, he will continue to collect money from the rubes that will give it to him. Yep. And he will continue to live off that and have rallies to make himself feel good. And it's pretty pathetic. It's pathetic.
Can I tell you
what the office has been a great way to clear his ledgers.
Yeah, it has been.
Here's the thing. Charging the FBI for use of golf carts, charging them for bottled water. This is
Secret Service, and they're all infected with COVID now.
I was still stunned that this FBI, who was there to protect his son, his fucking son, like we're talking Barron now. I'm not because. I give him a free pass. He's a kid, right?
Well, of course, he's a kid.
He gets a free pass, right? But the FBI, who was there in New York City to protect his son, had to move out of Trump Tower because Trump raised the rent on them.
Yeah,
right? They're there to protect his fucking son. His son.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna grift. Grifter's gonna grift.
It's
That's just the way it is.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen, and that is that he will put his hand in for 2024, but I agree with you, he won't actually physically run. He'll put it in to raise money, and then all that money will go straight into his pockets, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is.
Now, I do believe, though, that Donald Trump Jr. will make a run at 2024.
Oh, well... Let him try. What a piece of shit that thing is.
But I
he's
think
all coked up with his.
Oh, I know he's a cocaine addict. I think we all fucking know that. I mean, they're welcome to each other. But the thing is,
Kimberly Guilfoyle can all scream at us like a Nazi all she wants. She's never going to be first lady. Okay, it's never going to happen.
I've forgotten the name of the fucking singer. Jesus Christ! It was on that really famous Dave Chappelle show. When they used to do the, was it Eddie Murphy, his brother, used to do the...
Charlie Murphy
used to talk, and he was talking about, there was a very famous American black singer that they used to hang around with.
Prince.
No, not Prince. No, another one. There's another one. Much older than Prince.
Rick James.
Rich James. And he's talking about Rich James. And Rich James, bitch. And Rich James being in.
So
they were some of the funniest things I've ever seen. I love Dave Chappelle. I think he's a genius. I really do. And I still remember they had Rich James, he's been interviewed, and he goes, cocaine's a hell of a drug. And I think that's them. That is the two of them. They live on fucking cocaine, and their concept that they believe within 4 to 8 years they are going to be president and first lady. They really believe it. I really think they believe it, right? But the thing is,
the bar is not so high now.
Yeah, the bar has been lowered.
Can I just say one thing?
Down.
Can I just say one thing? Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I think the problem really comes down to what will the minions do? The Kool-Aid Brigade. That, that 37%, the Kool-Aid Brigade, that's right. What will they do? Will they go back to what's often been referred to as Republican classic? Go back to where the Republican Party was, the George Bush, Republican Party, or will they still stay on the far extreme right? Which means, will a Republican Party split? Will it what will happen in the next 4 years? What do you guys think will happen to the Republican Party?
Well, I think we're looking for a split in the Republican Party.
Yeah, probably.
Ever since the Tea Party evolved, they've had such a stranglehold on Republican politics.
They disappeared, though. They got swallowed into Trumpism.
By Trumpism.
But they became, what was it, the Freedom Caucus, and then the Freedom Caucus became Trump.
Where are those tricorn wearing hat motherfuckers
I remember.
That's what I want to know when Trump is spending all our cash.
What?
Because those people were out there wearing their Revolutionary War gear.
Can I tell you what happened to them? They drank the Kool-Aid. Hey.
Yeah,
Jim,
but
they're
going to be real thirsty now.
May I quote Jim Jones? Well, not quite.
Jim Jones.
Cocaine.
Please don't. Cocaine.
Oh, man. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. No, sorry.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Sorry, I don't. I just... The problem with me is that I know it's so serious. I know this situation is so serious, but it's so fucking laughable at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
It's like dark humor.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what's happening with this whole idea of Trumpism? And I know for you guys, because you live there, it's deadly fucking serious, right? And I get that. For me, living outside America, it's like watching a sitcom. Like it's really hard to take it seriously because it's such a, I don't know. I don't know if you get that because you're.
No, I get
you're
it.
part of it, you know.
I mean, I look at it kind of the same way. It's just like I
consider
can't
it
believe this
dramedy.
shit's happening.
It's
it's like, how can this be so incredibly stupid and hilarious at the same time being so fucking horrifying? I mean, honestly, it's pretty crazy.
It's like I heard somebody. I've heard a lot of people talk about the idea of Trump TV. He'll buy out. Now, what's that far right Nazi network online? Is it OAN
Fox?
or something? No, not Fox. Fox. No. There's one that makes Fox look fucking liberal. I think it's called OAN or
OAN.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah.
OAN.
Now, the idea that he would buy it, borrow money. Where the fuck he'd get it from? Probably the Russians. Pump money into it.
Keep giving him money,
right? Well, I'm sure the Russians would love to fund that. It'd be it'd be perfect, right? So they'd be funded by the Russians. They'd be funded by the Russians
through the fine people at Deutsche Bank.
Yeah, actually, although that may change, it may not. They may have to create a new bank. Because from what I've heard, Deutsche Bank wants to cut him loose. Because he's attracting a little bit too much investigation into their criminal activities, which they don't like. It's like, hey, we just want to deal with European criminals. We don't need you Americans. Right? So it's that's a bit of a problem. But if he does that, I don't know. I'm just wondering. It's an amazing concept. Trump TV. Do you think Trump TV could happen?
I believe somebody will probably start it because it's just a money-making grift for people to continue on. There's always going to be somebody that's going to have an audience for that kind of shit. Somebody's going to pay for it. I know Sarah Palin tried to do the same thing for a while after she
but
it was like this whole Sarah Palin TV thing. And
I don't want to insult a person, but she's a.
I do.
I was going to say she's a retard, and I know that word is. I can't use that word. Okay.
Yeah, you can't use that word.
But
you can, but it would be wrong.
Okay. But she's fucking nuts. She's not mentally all there. She's just like.
She was governor, and she quit.
Because it was
hard.
Because
working hard, as they said.
She had incredible eyes, though.
She had what?
Incredible eyes.
Incredible eyes?
She could see Russia.
From her house.
Did you see the time when she was pranked by the radio show that thought she was speaking to the French president? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But you know what? Those same kind of people got Rudy Giuliani too. So, and I'm not even talking about the new Borat film.
Yeah, when he decided to masturbate on fucking film, yeah.
He was okay. I'm going to say I hate Rudy Giuliani, and it was a hilarious movie.
No, he wasn't. No.
He wasn't doing what they said he was. No. I don't know why he was in the bedroom with her, which is weird.
No. I'll tell you. No, I'll tell you. I know exactly. I've read
It was bad.
I've read the fucking interview with, I forgot her name, the actress.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I think she's Bulgarian. And she said it's very, very, he wasn't masturbating. No, he was actually honestly trying to get the wires out of him. Like that was
I agree with that. Right. I just think it looked bad.
Right. However, she has also said, was he about to jump her bones? Fuck yes. He thought he was in like
the way he put his hand on her hip and stuff. He was totally. If she had made a move or given him the side eye, he would have been there. I'm not saying that. But he wasn't touching himself down his pants.
No.
People tried to make it.
But here's the thing. Even Sacha Baron Cohen has said that he lost comms when he was hiding in the cupboard. That's literally he was in the cupboard in that room. There was a fake cupboard, right? He was in the cupboard, but it's all that stuff him running through. That's all pre-done. He was in a cupboard, dressed right to come out. He lost comms, so he didn't know when to come out, and apparently they got worried because they honestly thought he was going to try to sexually assault her, and there was nobody in the friggin' room to protect her.
Interesting.
And apparently they actually reckon they got him because they seriously thought within the next minute to 2 minutes he was going to be full on, hey baby. Basically.
Well, he may have, but that doesn't mean she would have, I feel like, we can speculate or whatever.
I'm hoping she would have punched him in the nose and knees.
And a joke in a lot of ways.
Right.
But and I know he married his cousin, but and again, I'm not saying he wasn't interested because the way he patted her where he did on her lower back there,
as an Australian
would have gone there. Okay, but
as an Australian would say, he was trying to root her. It was that simple. He was trying to get her.
Yeah. Well, no. Right? Okay, I think he would have been willing. All right, but he didn't do anything to do that. So I just don't want to.
A fucking 70-year-old man does not touch a 20-year-old woman on the fucking upper bit of the bum. What do you call that?
Warren.
Right.
Warren,
you don't do that.
I'm just going to say to you, Warren, have you ever been a 20-year-old woman and seen how men touch them when they walk through somewhere? At that age, I had men that age put their hands on me in ways you wouldn't believe when I was just in a public space working as a waitress. So please, don't think that's not normal behavior for people.
Really?
Really? It is. It is. It's not acceptable. It's just normal.
Yeah. I would especially say men who think they have power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. Especially with a young girl. They think it's acceptable for them to do that. So I'm going to tell you right now, it is not an outrageous situation. It was inappropriate. I think he probably would have behaved wrongly if given an opportunity to do so. Do I think he would have sexually assaulted her? No. I don't.
Oh no! I wasn't suggesting he was going to rape her. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. But would he have gone in for a kiss? I would have said yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. If she had given him the go ahead, he would have been on it.
No, I don't believe. I don't believe for a minute he would have raped her.
I think that's probably 3/4 of the men in America at that point. I'm not saying all of them.
Wow.
But maybe 75%.
Really? Really?
That's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
Maybe I'm jaded.
Well,
Tim's
a bit harsh.
What are you saying? 66%? Like, what's your percentage, Tim? What do you think?
But what are you saying? Are you saying
that at that moment, given the opportunity, and nobody would have known? What do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Wow, are you being put on the spot or fucking what? Did you realise, Tim, there is no good answer to this? Whichever you say, you're
there is no good answer.
I know.
Hey, he walked into it. It's not my problem, man.
Oh, dear.
Time for another amaretto sour.
Oh, you do need another one, don't you? You want to drink the rest of mine?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Because Tim needs more alcohol, apparently.
Okay. So, sorry, has Tim left to refill?
We have successfully guided the conversation.
He has barred.
Okay, would I say to you, Tim, right? So we'll try to get our masculinity back in some weird way, even though I don't know. Oh, don't worry, I was fucking married to a Scandinavian blonde. I have no masculinity left anymore. Anyway, at what point is it wrong? Like, for instance, let's say, even if we take the Rudy Giuliani concept, right? Is that, first of all, 25-year-old, how old is Giuliani? 75? Something like that? Is that about right?
If a day.
Okay, so...
Yeah, 75 if a day.
Okay, right. Oh, wow, that was a guess, so that's okay. Now, okay, first of all, I think that's kind of gross, all right? But put the age bit away. Let's say Giuliani was, I don't know, 35, right? And they pulled the same stunt. If she was like coming to the bedroom, let's pour a glass of scotch, sit down, we'll talk, the cameras are off. If he leaned in for a kiss, has he done the wrong thing? I just want to ask the question, right? Is that...
No. Now, if she indicates to stop...
that's a different point.
Then yes.
But the whole idea, coming to the bedroom, let's pour a drink...
Shannon's pointing to her ring right now. I forget the fact that he's married.
Yes, he's married.
I wasn't actually thinking about that. Sorry, shit, you're spot on the point.
Right.
I've forgotten about that.
That's the only thing that, like, to me, honestly, even though it might be gross if he's old and she's young, to us personally, that's our opinions. My issue with it is, he's married. And I don't know whether or not he thought she was a 16-year-old girl, the way they were portraying her in the show, because they actually never made it clear that he might have thought that.
I don't
think he thought she was 16. Yeah, I don't think he thought she was 16. That's not something. And I think he's married. And I think that if you are a piece of shit kind of 73-year-old with a 20-year-old and you're married and you would go for it, then that's a problem. If you are an unmarried 73-year-old with a 20-year-old who would go for it, then fucking go for it if you guys are both into it. I don't give a shit what you do. But... Yeah, that's my opinion.
There is a fantastic.
Don't be married.
No, Irish. I think you actually hit the nail on the head, and I think that I was actually way off target. Where I'm sort of saying, is it right or is it wrong? And we're all missing the fucking point. The man's married. Like we're all
wrong.
Right, we're all looking at this idea about age.
It can be
difference,
gross all day long to everybody else.
And all of us are forgetting. He's fucking... No, you are 100% spot on. It's a bit like there was a show with an American TV show which I loved. I watched all of it, called Leverage. I don't know if you remember it, with Tim Hutton Jr.
Yes.
Or,
I didn't watch it.
It's not Tim Hutton Jr. It's Tim Hutton's son. Because I remember Tim Hutton...
Timothy Hutton.
Timothy Hutton, yeah.
Right, yeah, because he's the son of Tim Hutton, though, isn't he? Like Tim Hutton, because there was an actor called Tim Hutton in the 60s. He's his son.
Oh, wow.
He used to work a lot with John Wayne and people like that. Watch the Green Berets. He's one of the stars. Not trying to push that movie. I know it's Republican propaganda.
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
It's actually a good movie.
Tim. Oh my God,
Tim
where do I
loves
start?
John Wayne movies.
Okay, no, just wait. Tim and I agree, because I love John Wayne too. I think he's I love him. I will not go out if there is a John Wayne.
I love him in The Quiet Man.
Yeah, but that's kind of a bit different.
Shut up, Warren. I love him in The Quiet Man.
I love it.
Shut up.
But the Green Berets, seriously, when Vietnam looks like a California pine forest, seriously. I mean, and everybody in it, just he hired his mates. So you've got these guys who are meant to be part of the U.S. Special Forces group in South Vietnam, and they've all got tummies hanging over their belts, because they're all John Wayne's mates. He hired his mates, right? It's just like, really? That's not what U.S. Special Forces look like. Even in 1965, it's not what they looked like, It's, oh, dearie me. But it gave us a great song, though, which still, to this day, I'll tell you a story. When I was in the army, we used to laugh at this fucking forever. Because there is the song of the Green Berets, which was the theme song of the movie, which was actually sung by a member of the US Special Forces group. And there is a line in it, which is, it's like, what is it? We are fighting men from the sky. And then it goes on and it says, what's the line? It's like, we are men who jump and die. What the fuck? We jump and die? It's like, and we used to laugh. It was just like, so you parachute into battle and get killed. Why are you so special? We can never fucking understand the lyrics. Fighting men from the sky who jump and die. What? We used to fucking laugh at it so much.
Kamikaze parachutists.
I know, we used to laugh at it so much. I've totally lost what the fuck
funny.
we're talking about. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
I don't know, dude.
Apart from
Mostly
the fact
I was just bashing people, I think.
Well, apart from the fact
but
that
I was defending others.
I still love John Wayne. I think John Wayne was brilliant. I don't. It's like, for me, it's like, I love Carry On films. I love Benny Hill. I know that they're not culturally or politically correct. I don't care. I still love them. I
love Benny Hill too. But John Wayne, I mean, honestly, Warren, I have to give kudos to any man who dies with 30 pounds of impacted red meat in his colon.
Don't worry,
That's a lot.
Don't worry, Donald Trump will beat that. Donald Trump
was a man's man.
Donald Trump is planning to beat that record. All those Big Macs? Hey, come on.
Yeah, I was going to say it's all Big Macs, though.
I know. There'll be a certain amount of pickle in there.
Have you ever seen a McDonald's hamburger that has been sitting out? People have had them, and they've had them sitting for like 20 or 30 years, and they never mold, and they never go bad. They just get hard, and they look exactly the same as the day when somebody bought them.
It doesn't surprise me.
And it's pretty horrifying.
It doesn't surprise me. It does surprise me.
I mean, literally, they don't shrivel, they don't mold, they don't do anything. They just harden.
There is,
and so
if you eat enough of them, they preserve your body.
Yeah, that's how you
Do you become a superhero? Is that how you become the next Superman?
What?
Eating up McDonald's.
That culture, is it Nepal, somewhere there, that had the monks that would self-mummify?
No, it's not Nepal. I've been to Nepal. They
it
don't have
Nepal,
fucking... I've been to Nepal. They do not have self-mummifying monks.
No, I mean, it's ancient. Tim's looking it up now, so he can sound
it's not Nepal. It's not Nepal.
No, because I know this.
But
Nepal is that's a weird fucking country.
Is it Japan? Where was it?
Oh, no. I know what you... It's these men who they starve themselves into this concept, and they put themselves into these mummification... I think it's Japan.
They go to the cave and they sit in a space where they have fed themselves something. And they...
No, I think it's Japan, and it is a weird
Japan.
cult.
It is Japan.
Yeah,
okay.
And it is, and this is something like 0.000 infinitesimal amount 0.1, right? Okay, it is this tiny cult in Japan that does this.
Shokushin Butsu. That's it. Shokushin Butsu. That's it. He's looking it up, so I'm going to sound smart. I'm going to sound smart now.
do you know? I hate fucking Doodle. You cannot have a dinner party conversation anymore because Doodle kills it. Well, right? You can't have one. You can't.
We were talking about this because it kills your ability to know things. You don't have to know anything anymore because it's at your fingertips. So you can't. So Tim and I did research actually years ago on a game show pilot, and it was a show that was about. It was called the Third Millennium Challenge, and it was about the entire 20th century, basically. And it was about history. And it was a game show where people would have to answer questions about it. So in order to write the pilot, we did the research for the questions. And so at the time,
no internet.
Early to mid 90s, wasn't it? It's like mid 90s.
Early 90s.
Early 90s. When did you do this?
This was in the early 1990s.
Fuck.
And it was just a pilot.
The show was stolen from you.
Yeah.
This is QI. It's QI. That's fucking QI. One of the most successful game shows in history. QI.
Well, it wasn't necessarily stolen from us. I mean, there's a lot of ideas out there that people have similarly at the same time, kind of. But we didn't write it. We got hired to actually do the research for the script for the actual pilot, because what they did was script out the pilot. Right. But it wasn't the actual show.
But
we did the research for the questions.
Yeah. But how would you do the show?
Well, we didn't write the show.
Oh, okay.
We just did the research for the questions that they did. Okay, in order to do that, because we had to have time, it was based on a timeline of history. And so we had to actually go to the library. And we spent hours going through
researching and reading.
Going through books of time periods and history to write all these questions.
Can I come and live with you guys? Can I have the granny flat out the back? Right? Fuck me, you have a fun life. Okay, what I sit back working out, the pressure on this girder is this, or this fucking, the security system on this is this, and I have to go through a manual which is fucking 100 pages long trying to find the right part, and you're doing that shit. Fuck me. Let me live in your granny flat.
I'm very sorry.
Seriously.
Well, as I was saying,
your work has value.
I feel sad now. Well, we spent all these hours at the library to do this, and we did it, and it was a good script. The show didn't get picked up, unfortunately, but the whole thing was a plot. I use the word plot, but it was kind of a marketing thing for a Scandinavian company that wanted to market watches that actually counted down to the millennium, when it would switch over from 1999 to 2000.
Really?
So it was the early. Yeah, so it was the early 1990s. They really wanted to sell these watches. That was what the whole thing was about.
That counted backwards.
They counted backwards, counted down.
Yeah, mind you, we also used to buy fucking Tamagotchis, didn't we? I mean, it was fucking weird time.
I mean, come on, it was weird. But now,
great
to do
fashion,
a show like that, we could go on the internet and spend 2 hours researching questions, and we could have the entire script finished. But we spent hours and hours and hours and days and days and days at the library, and weeks researching. And we laugh now because we were like, if only the internet had been a thing then. Okay. The first time we actually were introduced to the internet was in 1997. One of our friends brought over his entire desktop computer to our house to show us what the internet was. And it was just news groups then. It was all chat rooms and news groups. And we were like, what the hell? Who cares? Like, what is this crap?
I can still remember when we first got the internet. It would have been about 1996. And I can still remember we got it all set up, and we sat there one night and when we went, what the fuck do we do? Like, what do we do, right? And I still remember this. Okay, this is going back a long time. And the first thing I still remember, the word was, I don't know. I won't actually tell you what she said because I don't want to say it on the air. But let's just say it was porn related. All right, is all I will say.
Yes.
Right, and I suddenly realised. So this is what the internet is for: free porn. Right? This is what it's for, is it? It was because we looked at each other. It's like, well, what the fuck do we do with it? I know. It's like, well, what? And it was like, well, why don't you look up? Beep. I'll tell you off here. I won't say. But because I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be embarrassed. But anyway, fuck me. Sorry, I went off track. What were you saying? Sorry.
I get to know something they don't. I get to know things about you that other people don't, and I think that's good. I like that.
Is that okay? Okay. Well, I think you know a few things about my ass. Anyway, we won't really go. Anyway, so
tell me things. Good.
I know. Let's look up big. Sorry.
All right. Enough giggling. All right.
So I just feel like saying, "Oh, that's it." No, that's not. No. So anyway, we're going really. What the fuck were we saying before that happened? This show is.
You were talking about internet porn, dude.
Research.
Research.
We were talking
thank
about
you, Tim.
the internet.
Okay.
And,
Dinner conversation.
What? Here's a question.
Because now you just look it up in a second. You go, I don't know what that is, and you look it up, and you have the answer.
But this is the question I was going to ask you guys. Right? Is that when I was a kid, you would go, and look, we're in similar age groups. I mean, we only differ by fucking 3 years or something, right? We're in the same, right. We're in the same age group, right? So the thing is that when I was a kid, I don't know what it was like in America, but when, especially in the South, might have been a little bit different. Like if you lived in New York or Boston, this might have been a different concept. When I say this, I tell you a story, maybe it'll make sense. When I was a kid, you went to the museum. Now, in Melbourne, the Melbourne Museum was a building that was built in like 1850 or something, right? It was huge. And when you walked on the wooden floors, you could see, like, it had 150 years of scraping of people walking across it. You know, it was, the floors were bowed from all of this people walking on it. It was this old building, and it creaked, it rattled, it was full of these old fucking things behind glass, stuffed animals and all this. And it was one of those places you could make a horror movie in. You know what I mean? If you turned the lights off, it was scary, right? Now, if you go to the Melbourne Museum, it's all interactive displays, and it's white walls, and it's lights, and it's friendly, and it's fun. And for me, a museum was meant to be scary. Am I an idiot, or are you do you get what I'm trying to? Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe if you grew up in New York or London or Paris, you'd get what I'm trying to say. This idea of this old world stone buildings where everything's cold. Like, you went in there, it was summer. Outside, it was 35 degrees Celsius. Inside, it was snowing. It was so cold. It was like, I don't know. Do you guys get that? Just coming from the southern regions.
Filled with disturbing things.
I don't know. Or if I just said to everyone,
you're visiting.
Or if I just said to everyone, I'm nuts and insane. But I have spoken to other people who of our age, late 40s, early 50s, who have said they go to a modern museum and it doesn't feel like it's a museum. I don't know. I'll shut up now and you can just tell me I'm insane.
I don't know what kind of museums you guys have in Australia. Like, I'm curious now because
now we have these interactive.
I've never been terrified at some kind of museum.
Have you never? Okay, did you never, as a kid, experience a museum where the ceiling was fucking 40 meters or 50 meters in the air, where the wooden boards were 100 years old, where there were these cases of stuffed anacondas and fucking bison and dinosaur, I don't know, and you would walk through and everything just felt. I was about to say it felt 1,000,000 years old, but you never felt.
You mean like a natural history museum?
Or just a
where
museum
they
in general. I'm not talking about the Museum of Rock Opera, which obviously probably would have started in the late 60s. I'm talking. You know what I mean?
I said a natural history museum where they have like stuffed mammoths and dinosaur bones.
Yes.
Things
Okay. Okay, that's an American.
So
yes, I get that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now my youth was in Nashville, Tennessee. We did not have these.
Right.
Show dinosaurs.
Okay.
Museums were not the thing.
Okay, so I remember going to museums that my grandparents would take me to every year when I would visit them. They lived in Indiana, in a small town called Elkhart. So I would have to fly into Chicago. They would pick me up there. So every year, either on the way from the airport or on the way back to the airport, they would take me to museums in the city. And they took me to the Natural History Museum there. The only thing I remember in the museum that ever terrified me or made me feel really uneasy was they had a display of fetuses, okay, to show the gestation of babies all the way through from conception to birth. But what they had in the wall were like literal fetuses, like babies that were from like all the way through gestation until they were about 8 or 9 months old.
That's horrifying.
But they were dead.
Okay,
because they were suspended. They were suspended in liquid. And as a kid, seeing this, understanding that they were trying to show me what babies looked like through gestation, but understanding when my grandmother told me that, because I said, are those real babies? And they said, yes. My grandmother was like, yes. I was like, oh my God, that's literally a dead baby. Like on the other side of this glass. That was because it was like a 9-month or 8-month gestation baby that I was looking at. And I just was like, this is horrific. But I understood, like now I look back on it, I'm like, I understand as a kid that was very horrific. And for a lot of people that would be very traumatizing, and I can understand that. And I have never forgotten it because it impacted me. But I also understand they were trying to educate people in the 70s. I don't know whether that display is still there. Dear God, I hope it's not.
Well, it's a bit like...
that's literally the only thing I have ever seen in a museum that affected me in a negative way, I think. And it wasn't because I really understood the whole thing. I just realized that was an actual dead baby on the other side of the glass I was looking at, so it kind of freaked me out. You know?
Well, it's a bit like the man who went to the Smithsonian to find that he was staring through a piece of glass at a skeleton that was his great-great-grandfather.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. People don't think sometimes when their bodies are donated to science that people might actually know who they are or realize that they're a real person.
Actually, it was a very long story, which I won't waste people's time. That skeleton no longer is in the Smithsonian. It's gone. It was a Native American skeleton.
So
it was
that's
done.
No.
It was. I think the idea of the people who did it at the time didn't realize they were doing something wrong. Now we know that they were doing something wrong. I have no problem with the people who did it because they didn't understand.
It was a different time then. So
they didn't know. It's just not that. They were not saying slavery is good. That's not what they did. They put a skeleton in a museum. So, and then the museum, modern term,
it was wrong,
we can't do that. Get rid of it. So, I don't have a problem with that. Hey, do you think it's really crazy that Cindy McCain is going on to the Biden transition team?
No, I do not.
I don't think it's crazy. She is a member of the fucking Biden transition campaign. Devout Republican is now a member of the Biden transition campaign.
Well, Trump isn't a Republican, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I just thought, does anyone isn't people in America talking about that? Isn't that a big deal?
Well, no, because Cindy McCain isn't really anybody per se here. I mean, it was really great when she came out and endorsed him. But honestly, the fact that she's on the transition team isn't any more amazing to us than anything else Joe Biden's going to do at this point, in my opinion.
Isn't John McCain. Sorry, my mistake. John McCain. Isn't he viewed as an American icon? Like, isn't he? He's a bit like Buzz Aldrin or someone. Like, he's a fucking. I thought he was a. Or who was that American who was a Gemini astronaut who would go on to be a Republican in
John Glenn.
John Glenn. Like, isn't he an American icon? Like, he's a war hero, shot down.
Yeah.
In many ways, very similar.
Yeah.
So to many Trumpies, he's not.
No, because he didn't go along with Trump. He defied him, so therefore they thought, in the end, when he voted down the
overturn of the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, the Affordable Care Act. He voted that down. He was the deciding vote.
So
and after that, the Trumpies turned on him. Therefore, he was no longer what they considered to be Republican. Didn't matter if he was an American hero. You know, and here's the thing. I didn't really agree with John McCain on policy.
I respected him.
I respected him because
that's the thing.
He was a man who, he went to war. He was captured. And he, because of who he was offered release.
He wasn't
just him. And he said that he would not be released. Because he wouldn't be released until everybody else was. So he went back and stayed a prisoner of war for another 5 years. Until they were all released. I'm sorry, I don't give a shit. That man's an American hero.
I just want to explain something to people who may not understand this. The Hanoi was often referred to as the Hanoi Hilton, which held what was referred to as Allied prisoners. They were basically non-Vietnamese prisoners. So... Americans, South Koreans, Australians, New Zealanders, basically anyone who wasn't Vietnamese went to this prison camp, all right? And the vast majority of them were pilots who were shot down. Now, this is not like World War II, where you went to a prison camp and it's like the Great Escape, where you're all in your barracks and it looks like they're at a children weekend escape camp. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're playing soccer. These men were they were fed excrement. These men had bones broken and denied medical treatment intentionally. These men, I cannot go through just how horrific their life was in that particular prison. He survived it, and when was offered an out, said no.
Until they were all released, yeah.
I mean, that's the story to me of a fucking war hero. You know, it's like you know. I'll tell you this story. I may have said this before. If I have, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. I had a biology teacher who, a very sad story. He took his own life a few years ago, which was very, very sad. But he was a great mentor of mine, and I loved him dearly. And I remember when I was quite young, as a teenager, we were out in the middle of nowhere on as you do in a private school, you go out in the middle of nowhere on camps and things like that. And we were there, and we were sitting around a campfire, right? And he was telling us stories, and we're all like these, teenagers, tell us a story, sir. Yes, sort of thing. And it was, that sounds really sick. I didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean?
No, it does not. Just tell your story. Stop.
And he was telling us a story. And he was telling us the story of the Titanic. And I still remember him, and he said, the band on the Titanic. He said, it's very easy for people to talk about war heroes. When adrenaline is running and people are pushed to the maximum of their mental ability, it's actually not that difficult to throw a grenade here, to jump into this foxhole here, to do this. That's not saying they're not heroes, but that's very different to the men who stood playing their instruments on the deck of the Titanic. They took out their instruments, started playing their instruments to try to calm the people on the ship, knowing by doing so they would die. That's heroism. And I still remember, and we sat there going, wow, but that's the thing. But John McCain showed that in that prison. This was not adrenaline. Yeah. This was not jumping on a grenade, jumping from foxholes, shooting people. This was, you can go. No, I'm going to stay with my mates. That's heroism, right? And it doesn't matter what his politics were. that's an amazing man. And for Donald Trump to call him a loser, I do not understand, because I don't support the Republican ideology in America. However, I understand that half the country support it. That's fine.
Credit where credit's due.
But what I have a problem with is calling a man who did that a fucking loser. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now. I just find that fucking...
I mean, no, Trump's just all about projection. Trump is all about projection.
No.
So when he calls those people losers, it's because he knows that he could never be that.
No, but I haven't finished yet. Sorry, I want to say one last thing. 50% of the American public agree with him. That fucking frightens me.
50% of the American public do not.
Well, they voted for Donald Trump.
I'm going to just say to you right now, that's
48%. They voted for Donald Trump.
Warren, listen to me. 100% of the people in this country do not vote. And he wouldn't have won 50% even if we did. We had the biggest turnout this time we've ever had. It was about 66% of eligible voters actually came out and voted. And he didn't win 50% of that. So what you're saying isn't true. Okay? We have maybe a third max of our population that are voting age that would follow this guy. Okay? The rest of the people that voted Republican and that voted party lines. They didn't know what else to do because they don't know what else to do. They're not paying attention, or they just voted party lines. Even if they didn't like Trump per se, they still thought he was better than Joe Biden because he's a Republican. Even though he's not really a Republican. He's a guy that took that mantle and has worn it. And the people that are with him, the type of people that we have in the Republican Party these days, I told Tim, and I saw it online today, a word from the 17th century, okay? Hey, I don't like this type of language. It's like wrong for me to say. But the word is a real word from the 17th century. It's called a catch fart. A catch fart. It means somebody who follows behind, somebody who follows behind their boss.
Right,
and
I
just
get it.
blows with the political wind.
Yeah.
Okay? So wherever the political wind from their boss blows, they catch it and fly that way. And that's basically what everybody who's the sycophants who've fallen in line behind Trump, that's what they are. They're not Republicans. They're grifters, and they're liars, and they're sycophants, and they're catch farts.
Can I tell you guys something?
That's not 50% of our country.
Okay. Well, can I tell you something? This is the thing. I have a new Twitter account. Anyone listening to this show goes through that Twitter account. I've got a whole 30 fucking followers. It's nothing. I'm a nobody. I used to have a Twitter account of 5,000 followers, right?
Yeah, me too.
I know you too. I know. Until I fucking rebirthed my Twitter account. I don't know. This is maybe just something I'm saying to you, but I'm not. One of the reasons was. Do you know? I used to back then have Americans. They're always fucking Americans. They were never Belgian or French or German. They were always fucking Americans, all right? Who used to complain about me about being non-supporter of the military. Okay? By American standards, I'm a fucking veteran. How the fuck does that work?
You are.
Right? But if I lived in America, now in Australia I'm not allowed to say that. But, if I lived in America, I'm allowed to say that, right? So if I live in America, I'm allowed to say I'm a veteran. And they're telling me I don't support the military. What the fuck? Like, seriously. And I'm being told...
Why would you listen to randos on the internet?
No, 100%. I'm being told by someone...
Why would you?
But the thing that really blows my mind about this is I'm being told by someone who has never served that I'm not military enough and I have served. How does that Trumpist mentality work? I'm asking for answers. I'm asking
Warren,
for...
I'm trying to answer you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, shut up. Just don't... Oh, shut up. All right.
Nobody can answer you if you keep talking.
I can't help it. I'm Australian. La, 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 la. Oh, shut up. Sorry. Oh, shut up.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I have. No, seriously. Shut up. Seriously.
You know what?
I
forgot what we were talking about.
No.
So...
Fuck me. Tim, cut in. You're the man. You're my man. Come on, Tim.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
No. What I was saying is, it annoys me.
Just tell him he's the man. What was that supposed to mean?
What? Oh, Jesus Christ!
Anyway, Tim, you're the man.
No, what annoys me. What I find amazing is that Trumpists who have never served complaining about people who have and calling them non-military. That's what I'm complaining about. Okay.
My question to you is, Warren, do you know that they were actually people and not trolls living under bridges? Like, who gives a fuck what randos on the internet say?
Yeah.
Why would you delete your account because of that? Block them and move on.
Well, it wasn't because it was one or two people, Irish. I mean, it was something, and I actually think, there's more to this story I don't want to say on air because I don't actually want to say someone's name because there was someone that I used to be involved with who, and I don't want to go down that path, who was a fucking veteran by American standards themselves. That's the thing that pissed me off about it. Who actually, that pissed me off. Especially when they made a comment on fucking Twitter to me. This is when we were still friends. This is when it all started. He actually said it publicly, and he said, "Jesus, I didn't know Australia had a military."
Okay, well, some people are just going to say shit.
Fuck you. And
this
fucking guy, if you go to his Twitter account, it says veteran. That's what it fucking says is his description, with 2 American flags on either side. Veteran. I'm so fucking proud. Yeah, so fucking proud. He spent 4 years in the fucking Navy, never left San Francisco fucking harbor. He was a fucking chemist, mate. Jesus Christ, he worked in the pharmacy. Never fucking went on a ship in his life. Anyway, sorry. I'm getting angry. Sorry, don't calm down. Sorry. I'm
all good now. All
right.
I'm all good now. Right. Sorry. All right, let's change the subject, shall we?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know what? I think I need a break for a minute anyway. So
all right. Sorry,
I
started venting about my past. Sorry about that.
I know.
I'll just say as soon as we will change the subject and everything, and that's all cool. I know we have to. But it does annoy me that I fucking served my country and I'm called pathetic, and people that didn't tell me that they're fucking heroes. That annoys me. That actually fucking annoys me. And you know what? Until Trump came along, that never fucking happened. That's the thing that annoyed me. Right? That never happened before Trump.
Well, I'm sorry that it happened.
Anyway.
Let's take a break.
We'll move on. All right, we'll take a quick break. Timey-wimey, we are back. And now, I just want to quickly ask, because it was a slightly shorter show this week, but I just wanted to say, Halloween, not something really, it's not really an Australian thing, okay? How did your Halloween work through COVID? I mean, quickly, but how did it work? Did you guys survive? Were you able to do what you would normally do? Did you have to do some sort of weird concept? Or I know we talked about it briefly on the last show, but how did it actually work out?
Well, actually, it's my mother's birthday on Halloween. Usually we do trick-or-treating or have people come. This year we bought a bunch of extra stuff to put in the yard because we knew we wouldn't have people over, really. Although I did have a friend come over. We did get dressed up, and we did have trick-or-treaters that came to the yard. But what we ended up doing was putting out a table so that they would stay separated from the front door. And we prepackaged treat bags for them. And we set them on the table in separate spaces so they could come up and take a bag. And they could put it for themselves, because we packaged it, with COVID compliance, with masks and gloves and that sort of thing.
And
they could come up and take a bag that way. Yeah, but Noah, my son, actually sat outside with his costume, and this year he was a plague doctor with his free hug sign, so it matched the theme. And he sat out there and stood like, because we got a new life-size animatronic witch skeleton that said 4 different creepy things, and her eyes lit up green and she moved, and it was great. So he stood out there kind of like an animatronic thing. And when people would question whether or not he was real, he would move and it would freak them out. So he had a great time. And it was fun. We had a good time. You know, it wasn't as many trick-or-treaters as we would usually have. Okay. But yeah, we had it was still fun. It's a new neighborhood for us. We weren't sure how it was going to go. But the people next door to us, luckily, were also decorating for their yard for Halloween. I think we were probably one of only a couple of people in the neighborhood that did it. But luckily, we were right next door to each other, so we looked like freaks together. So it was great.
Okay.
So it was fun. So yeah, Tim had to work.
Yeah, no, I worked, but at our company we had stations set up for trick-or-treaters to come out. We did it from 4 to 7 p.m. Our great COVID protection was we passed out candy with salad tongs.
Well, there you go. I think we should tell the governments. We should tell the governments of the world. Salad tongs. The answer.
Salad tongs.
Salad
tongs. Grab salad tongs.
Hey, don't wear a mask. Just go to Kmart and buy some salad tongs.
All the Kmart
contact free.
Actually, to be honest with you, I don't think that's silly. Because by the time you put your arm out with the tongs, it's actually probably about 1 meter, 1.2 meters anyway. It's not a stupid idea. It's actually not stupid at all. But it just sounds funny.
It does.
You know what I mean? It's not a bad idea.
I mean, the word salad tongs are kind of funny.
I know. It sounds funny, but it's actually a clever idea. It's not a stupid idea at all. But anyway.
Well, it was funny because my mother actually was trying to come up with these elaborate schemes about how we were going to take this, 15-foot pipe, like from the door, and angle it down so we could stand on something and put the candy in it, shoot it down a chute to the kids. And I was like, I think you're overthinking this a touch. So I was like, come on.
Had we given her time, she would have designed a set of pneumatic tubes.
She would have.
Just load up an airsoft rifle and fire it at the kids as they come past. Yeah.
Actually, Tim admitted that my mother would have designed a set of pneumatic tubes to deliver candy if we had not stopped her. Is absolutely the truth. So Halloween was good. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving because I like to eat.
Oh,
but
yes,
I did just go today. Yeah, and then I did just go today with my mother and buy $300 worth of yard ornaments for Christmas, which she has decided she had to have. So we have new snowmen and new reindeer to put in the yard. We're pretty excited about it.
Can I tell you very I know we're trying to go, but can I tell you very quickly? Do you know I actually had somebody once, I'm not going to say who their name is, because it was going to get embarrassing, but who actually said, what did you do for Thanksgiving? Really? You're asking me that question? Really? You're asking me that question?
Yeah.
I thought, you're fucking kidding me. Really? You really think this is a holiday celebrated throughout the world? Fuck me. I'm not joking. It's deadly serious. What did you do for fucking Thanksgiving? Oh, God. Anyway.
Well, Warren, as I like to say about several people in my family, you can't fault a pig for having a shorter neck than a giraffe.
What? No. Honestly, this is a person I'm never going to condemn, but fuck me. Seriously? Is that really where your knowledge base is? Yeah, anyway. Oh, God. All right. Well, we should probably wrap it up for another week. We'll be back in next week or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, just when we're free. As we said, this is free flowing. This is not like an every week show. Just when we're free, we will be back.
We would have done last week, but I got too drunk celebrating Biden's win.
Also, it's kind of maybe good we didn't do it, but it was kind of like I mean, that was an experience you didn't want to kind of destroy by, let's do a podcast. No, you wanted to have fun. Yeah, but, you know what I mean? It's like...
Listen, though. Listen, it was so stressful afterwards. We celebrated, and I got really drunk that night and couldn't do the show. But for 2 days after that, I was like on the floor in a fetal position waiting for them to call the actual race.
Hang on. It was already called. That's why you celebrated. It was called.
Yeah, I know, but there's been so many states that we were still waiting on, and now Arizona's been called, Georgia's been called. Okay, there's no going back now.
Yeah, but the whole idea was, even a week ago, the worst case scenario was 270. That was the worst case scenario. Worst case was 270.
I know.
Right.
I understand.
Best case was 306.
You have to understand the PTSD that I'm dealing with right now.
Okay, fair enough. So. No, I did. I did.
All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up. So let's get out of here.
Let's wrap it up. We're going to get out of here. So, I would just say it's what's that like? It's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from him. There was some fucking British show. I can't remember. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Yeah.
And I want to thank the both of you
for allowing me to
letting you talk
play along 5 minutes.
You don't come back, Tim. Come back, Tim. It's not back, Tim.
That was more than he gets to talk at Tom.
Okay. Hashtag. Okay. All right. Twitter hashtag. Come back, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely.
I won't be able to see it, so I don't care.
I'll show her a screenshot of it.
He does have a Twitter. So it's at Simply Fluid.
What?
So
and you're not following me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Tim,
actually, I am.
He is following you.
Oh, wait. Oh, fuck me.
Oh, rude.
I'm not following you. Seriously? What? Really?
I'm not following you.
I suddenly realized I'm not following you. Really? All right.
Warren, you wouldn't know. You hardly tweets. You probably are.
The problem.
No, he says, nope, I'm not.
Okay. All right.
Find out now.
Tweet me and I'm going to fucking follow you. I didn't know that was the case. I didn't realize that. Seriously. I did not realize that.
I've already been harassing him. Because he didn't Twitter support for me to be restored, for my accounts to be restored. So I see how it is.
I have that influence. I can do that.
I remember you. Well, I do remember, Tim. You used to follow my old Twitter account. I did remember that, and then I think when I got my new account, I don't know. I just gave up on life. It was like I just sort of said, fucking gut me.
I may not follow the new one.
That's how I feel. I feel like I just have given up on life, but I don't know whether or not I want a new one. So I am going to start a new one. What I can tell you,
I'm on my 28th Twitter account. It quite literally, that's the way it works. Because I just, every time I get to a certain point, I hate to, I'll say this and then we'll go, all right? Every time I get to a point where I get popular, I fucking kill it.
Well, Warren, I'm upset I
don't know, because it's kind of weird.
I'm upset about the Naked Axiom one because I had it since 2009. I had over 5,000 followers, but it wasn't just that. I was followed by people like Peter Fonda, who's dead now, and I literally cannot access his tweets that he sent to me because he tweeted to me and talked to me several times, and I'm fucking devastated that I can't go back.
Many people. I was followed by Annalise Breckenseck. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
What are you
Siri.
doing?
I just activated Siri. Sorry. Siri just said, what would you like to know? Sorry. I don't know how I did that. Anyway. I used to follow Annalise Breckenseck, right, who was kind of an acquaintance of mine, and we had conversations and all the rest of it, and a year ago she took her own life, which was very, very sad, and I've lost all of that because it's gone because of my new account, right? It's things like that I really, really fucking regret because I can't have that back, you know.
Yeah.
So
I took some screenshots of some of the stuff, but you know, I lost a lot of things, and it makes me sad. So, also I've lost a connection to a lot of people that I've known for a long time, or at least had a connection with, and that's hard.
However, you start a new account, if you will remember at least 10 or 20 people in your mind, you can send out requests back to. I can post your back. I'll guarantee you'll get 25% of your people back in about 2 or 3 days. Right? Yeah. And realistically, they're probably the more important ones anyway. So
I appreciate the people who have followed me for so long.
And here's the thing: if I tweet your back, this is your account, and if all your other people, let's say 100 other people say, "Oh, Iris is back, this is her account," I'll guarantee you'll get 25, 30, 40% of your account back in 2 or 3 days. Right?
The problem is they told me that if I used another account to try to get around my permanent suspension, they would delete that account too. So I'm just concerned about making a new account
use a different email address.
Deleting it.
Use a different email address. They're not the fucking FBI.
Will, but
I mean, seriously. I know
I'm saying deleted both of my accounts before. I'm not going to argue about you with it.
No, but you linked it.
Because I got to get off.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. All right, we don't know.
And nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I can't believe that was a private conversation.
This is after-show banter.
That was an after-show banter I was having on air. That is so bad of me. I'm so sorry. All right. Okay. All right. We are gone. We are out of here. We are kaput. Everything below the waist is, as Madeline Carr once said, everything below the waist is kaput. All right. We are gone. I love Madeline Carr. Anyway, Madeline Carr, Mel Brooks. Fuck me. Perfect. Anyway, we are gone. We'll be back. I don't know, whenever. This week after, whatever.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
We'll
Bye,
be back
guys.
soon.
No worries. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.